In this video, I want to help you to understand, is intermittent fasting working for you? And if it is, will it help you to continue to achieve your healthcare goals short and long term? Hi, I'm Dr. Joe from the Southside Health and Wellness Campus, and it's our goal to help you cut through all the healthcare noise that's out there. Now, intermittent fasting, in my opinion, is one of the most healthy ways of assisting people short and long term to achieve their healthcare goals. However, even something like intermittent fasting, if done inappropriately or too long, can become stressful to the body. And if the body starts to communicate to you that something is wrong, it will initially start out being quiet about it, and eventually, if not listened to, it will get louder and louder until eventually those symptoms start to become very apparent and can turn into much more complicated healthcare problems. So ultimately, it's important to understand what your body's going through and listen to it. So weight loss and looser fitting clothes is often the goal that so many people are trying to achieve with intermittent fasting, and it's a phenomenal way to do this. But ultimately, if you find that you're losing weight initially and the clothes are getting looser, but maybe that stops, you have to listen to your body and see, why is that occurring? Or tweak something in some way to get it back on a track to achieve those goals. So this video is not going to get into exactly how to achieve these changes if you are starting to run into them. Definitely some of our intermittent fasting video series could be helpful for you on that. And definitely comparing intermittent fasting to calorie restriction. A lot of people think that they're doing intermittent fasting when they're just cutting calories. Not a healthy tool. So definitely check out that link below. And if you're doing this in line with the ketogenic diet, definitely check out our Maximizing Keto Success video to help to understand how to achieve these goals even faster. But number two, lower inflammation and pain levels. A tremendous benefit that comes from doing this type of intermittent fasting. So I definitely recommend people consider it for those things, the chronic injuries. I did it myself personally for a long period of time and found that the inflammation and chronic pain that I experienced from some different injuries years ago reduced significantly. So absolutely can be a benefit. But if your inflammation and pain levels are lowering initially, but then over time you start to feel that those aches and pains are coming back, then that could be an indication that it's becoming stressful for your body, and you want to find out what's causing that. Improved digestion. In many cases, people start doing intermittent fasting to improve digestion, but over time they can become constipated, have loose stools, or start to have irritation in the digestive system in some way, and that could be an early indication something's not working well either. Blood sugars, you want them to be stable in general, and many people get into doing intermittent fasting actually to help reduce issues that they're having with their blood sugar levels, whether pre-diabetic or diabetic. In a type 2 situation, medical doctors and researchers have been found to actually reverse type 2 diabetes in pre-diabetic situations. So people should be able to go through the day without crashing with their energy or having low blood sugar moments. And intermittent fasting is a tremendous resource to do this. So absolutely, if you are going to do this and you are dealing with a diabetic situation, talk to your doctors to see if it's safe for you to do so, because ultimately you don't want those blood sugar levels to go too low. But if you find that they are stable in some ways, or even if you're checking with a meter, but then all of a sudden they start to become out of balance, that could be an early indication that stress is becoming apparent from intermittent fasting instead of being improved on by doing intermittent fasting. The healthy immune system. This is a very big thing that can happen when doing intermittent fasting, because ultimately when you are not eating as frequently, your body has a lot more energy to put towards other things, and that includes fighting off infections. So if you find that you're feeling less apt to get a cold or some kind of illness, but then over time you find yourself to be run down and now you're starting to get sick again, that could be an indication that it's starting to run down your body. Reduce cravings and hunger. Ultimately, even though you're eating less frequently, you should have significantly less cravings and hunger. Because even though your body is not eating for a period of time, the body can dip into the calories such as body fat as a caloric source, which is why so many people lose weight by doing intermittent fasting. But if you find that you are truly hungry or having long-term cravings, not just in the first few days of doing intermittent fasting, but longer term, it could be an indication, in my opinion, that certain nutrients are lacking. Whether the macros themselves, the fats, the proteins, or the carbohydrates, or possibly fiber, or water, or definitely vitamins and minerals could be crucial, and your body could be craving that, not the food itself. Improve mental clarity. You should be very clear of thought when you're on this, because you have a lot of energy to put towards other things. Cognitive performance should improve. That sluggishness of the brain or that brain fog should definitely clear up. But if you find that maybe it does clear up initially and starts to come back, that could be an indication of stress as a result of intermittent fasting. Good mood. Obviously, anything you're doing to improve the quality of your health should lead to a good mood, but ultimately if you start to find yourself becoming irritable or cranky in some ways, and people say something just changing in your personality, that could be an indication your body's getting run down as well. And the hormones that you're producing throughout the day should be ones that cause you to feel good, but if it becomes a stressor by doing intermittent fasting, that can cause you to produce cortisol and other things, which if you want more information on those types of hormones and the impacts of stress, check out one of the two links below for how balancing hormones naturally can be done, and definitely that stress video that we put together. That'll give you a good indication of how your body can be getting stressed as a result of doing something, even something as healthy as intermittent fasting. Good sleep. Now, sleep is important for anything health-wise, and if you find that your sleep is improved by intermittent fasting, but then eventually over time you're not falling asleep as well, or you're wired at night, or you're waking up in the middle of the night between 1 and 4 in the morning, that could be an indication of excessive stress from this, and that something has to be changed as well. So definitely make sure, one, that you're trying to sleep sufficient amounts, 7 to 8 hours or more per night, and if you're finding that you're not able to anymore, definitely could be a stressor. And lastly, do you look and feel healthy? The important thing to understand is that doing this is to try to achieve some of these goals, but ultimately short and long-term health is the primary goal that you should want for this. If you're healthy and you're doing the right things long-term and consistently, then you will lose the weight, you will reduce the inflammation and all these other goals that you might be trying to achieve. But if you're just trying to achieve that one goal, and instead of trying to get healthy, you try to cheat or bypass in some way, ultimately your body's going to start to communicate to you. Like I said, initially it'll be very low levels of communication to you, quiet whispers. Eventually it will start yelling at you, and those symptoms can get much more severe. So I hope that this has been helpful in understanding, is intermittent fasting working for you? And I appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, definitely hit the like button. Share it with anybody who's going through intermittent fasting or maybe struggling with some healthcare problem. Definitely share that with them. And lastly, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't before, and hit the bell notification so that you can get updates on when our new videos are coming out. And lastly, if you've been successful in intermittent fasting in some way, please in the comment section below share which type of intermittent fasting you've done, or give some other information for others that are watching this video to improve upon their healthcare journey by doing intermittent fasting. Because when they can see someone else getting the results, it absolutely could give more desire to do that type of thing and see those short and long-term gains achieved. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.